So just going back to the tinnitus and just talking about kind of things that I've tried to do to help, especially it affects me when I sleep, try to sleep. I can't remember who recommended it or whether I saw it somewhere, but I was recommended the This Works deep sleep pillow spray, and it's got all kinds of wonderful things in, like chamomile, lavender oil. What else is in there? I don't know what else is in there. But yeah, it's just so nice. I'm not a massive fan of the smell of lavender, but this little baby does wonders for me. So I just, I put up with the smell. Excuse me. And obviously lavender's really calming as well. So I found it really helpful. So I have one of these. This is my giant one that I keep by my bedside table. But I went through a bit of a panic where I was like, I need to keep one on me all the time. So I bought like a pack of 7 mini ones. Look at that, just so cute. But yeah, so it's like I keep it in my handbag and just kind of like spray it if I'm feeling particularly anxious. So that's what I use at nighttime. And then there is also another one that I've tried, which is really, really good. One of my friends bought it for me, Hannah. She got me the Neal's Yard one. So it is the Remedies to Roll Relaxation Roll-On, and the Goodnight Pillow Mist, which is actually really, really nice. And I think it contains orange peel oil or something as well, which is quite fresh and it's like quite zingy, and that I found that helps with trying to help me to breathe, because I feel like it almost like clears up my airways a little bit. So yeah, so they're really good alternatives. But for every day, for my anxiety, and try to just calm me down, I do use the This Works. So the packaging's like worn off, but it looks like that packaging on there. But it's a little roll-on. So all I do is I just roll it onto your pulse points. So like here, 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 roll it together and breathe it in. And honestly, this is just like one of my favorite things. It's like a lifesaver. But also the Neal's Yard one is really, really nice as well. It's a little bit, it's not as strong actually, which is quite nice if I'm feeling like a little bit sick, like from like being a bit anxious, like a bit nervous, then I prefer to use the Neal's Yard one, just because the This Works one's like quite strong. But yeah, so I have got the whole, I mean, it looks like a freaking advert now, but I've got the whole shebang. So I've got the deep sleep shower gel, which is really nice in the bath as well. So before I go to bed, if I know I'm going to have a difficult night, if I can see that corridor with that pesky little door at the end, I do tend to have a bit of a shower and use this product, or even in the morning if I need that, just to kind of help to ground me. I found it really useful. And then they also do a face mask as well, which is really, really nice. Yeah, for those who know me, I am a skincare addict. Like, I love anything skincare, so it's given me my bit of an addiction fix as well, which is always great. In terms of kind of trying to manage the tinnitus and like how much attention I pay to it, I have tried Headspace. So Headspace is a great app, and it's basically guided meditation, which I found really, really good. But I go through phases of using it because there is that silence, I have to be in the mood to embrace my tinnitus. And if it's pissing me off, I can't embrace it. I've got to find something else, like something to ignore it. So then I'll listen to like an audiobook or something instead. I do like to read a book, but I just can't bear the silence because I can just hear my tinnitus and it drives me absolutely balmy. It really, really bugs me. Also, yoga has been quite nice. That sounded so creepy. Oh my god. Oh, fucking hell. So also went through a phase of going to the gym. I found that it really helped to kind of get rid of my stress and anxiety, and just kind of like, it also really helped me to sleep at night. So then my head would hit the pillow and I'd just be out, and you know, that I wouldn't have to lie there listening to my tinnitus for hours on end, which obviously doesn't put me in a great place mentally. But unfortunately I just firstly couldn't find the energy to do it. And secondly, whenever I did find the energy to do it, my dizziness I was just basically a hazard to myself. Like, I'd, you know, be running on the treadmill and I'd like nearly like fall over because I'm too dizzy, or if I was like starting to get a bit of a sweat on, my head would start pounding and then I'd get really dizzy and my eyesight would go funny, and it just wasn't worth it. So I do try to, I haven't been able to do it the last couple of weeks just because I'm so exhausted. But I did start walking into work, so it's about 2.5 miles there and then 2.5 miles back. Bought myself a cute little backpack, downloaded a couple of really great audiobooks and kind of walked in casually. Took me about 45 minutes to an hour, and it was just kind of nice to have time for myself. But it's been quite difficult to find the energy to do that this last few weeks, just because my symptoms have made it near enough impossible to do anything, really. I haven't been able to use Headspace as much the last couple of weeks, just because I kind of want to try to forget about my tinnitus rather than try to embrace it. I'm really ready for that to be gone. So I actually have a little book that I've been finding really useful, because I haven't wanted to sit and kind of listen to my tinnitus, but it is the little book of mindfulness, and in this book there are like little exercises that take like, I think 10, like even some of them are like 30 seconds. You can literally just kind of use them to ground yourself, and just for a bit of space in your mind, and just a little bit of self-love and self-care. I think it's really important. I've spoken a lot about how I've managed, tried to manage my tinnitus and kind of my mental health, but also with the tinnitus, there is also a, I think it's like hypnosis, where you can basically go and you can, well no, I think it's like cognitive behavioural therapy. I think you can go and they actually train your mind. You can train your mind to forget and to ignore the tinnitus. So it's almost like if you live next to a train station or an airport, you can actually train your mind to like forget about it, and it just becomes background noise, which is something that I would definitely be keen to do if it came to it, that after tomorrow when I have my surgery, you know, the tinnitus doesn't go, and there is definitely a possibility of that. Then that is something that I think that's the next step in my journey, is to kind of try to come to terms with this relationship of this screaming noise in my head 24/7, and just try to like focus away from it rather than being sucked in by it, basically. So I think that's everything.